In 1959, the world was standing on the edge of the abyss. The United States and the Soviet Union had thousands of nuclear warheads pointed at each other. The Cold War was at its absolute peak. They couldn't agree on human rights. They couldn't agree on borders. They were ready to burn the earth to ash. But then, something impossible happened. In the midst of this global paranoia, the two greatest enemies in human history sat down at a table and quietly signed a piece of paper, the Antarctic Treaty. Almost overnight, they agreed to completely demilitarize an entire continent. They agreed that no single nation could claim it, and most importantly, they agreed to strictly regulate who could go there and what they could see. We are told the treaty was created to protect the penguins, to preserve the ice for science. But look at human history. When has humanity ever walked away from an entire continent of untapped oil, uranium and precious metals just for science? Never, unless they found something in the ice. Something so terrifying and so technologically advanced that it forced two warring empires to instantly declare a truce and form a global quarantine. In 1946, Admiral Richard Byrd took an entire naval fleet, complete with an aircraft carrier and heavy bombers, to Antarctica. It was called Operation Highjump. He was supposed to map the ice. So why did his fleet retreat after just a few weeks, suffering mysterious casualties? And why did the CIA immediately classify the mission files? 1946. World War II had been over for barely a year. The world was exhausted, yet, the United States Navy was preparing for a full-scale invasion. Operation Highjump, 13 ships, a massive aircraft carrier, and, 4,700 elite combat troops, led by the legendary Admiral Richard Byrd. The official story? A simple scientific mission to map the Antarctic coastline. But you don't bring torpedoes, heavy bombers, and thousands of battle-hardened soldiers just to study the ice. You don't bring an army to look at penguins. The truth was buried in classified logs. Byrd wasn't looking for a coastline, he was hunting for a ghost, a secret Nazi stronghold known as Base 211. The mission was scheduled to last 6 months. It collapsed in 8 weeks. The fleet retreated in a panicked frenzy. Planes didn't just crash, they were swatted out of the sky by silent glowing discs that rose from the freezing water. Engines fused, radars blinded. Byrd's final interview with a Chilean newspaper was his only moment of honesty. The threat, he warned, comes from the poles. We are facing objects that can fly from pole to pole with incredible speed. The Highjump Disaster was a message. We had knocked on the door of the black box, and something inside had finally answered. Today, we aren't looking at ancient ruins in the desert. We are going to look at the 2006 NASA satellite scans, and we are going to find out exactly what is buried under the ice wall. Decades later, the military's silence was broken by something they couldn't censor: gravity itself. In the early 2000s, NASA's GRACE satellite mission was mapping the Earth's gravitational field. When it swept over the Wilkes Land region of Antarctica, the sensors didn't just spike, they screamed. Deep beneath a 3-kilometer ice sheet lies a mass concentration so dense it warps the planet's gravitational pull. A crater 300 miles wide. But look closer at the thermal scans. This wasn't an asteroid. Asteroids, you know, they leave jagged debris. This is a hollow, perfectly geometric structure, a reinforced citadel larger than any city on Earth. In 2001, an international team of scientists near Lake Vostok began a deep core drilling project. They were just weeks away from reaching the liquid water when, well, the mission was abruptly terminated. Rumors from the site spoke of a magnetic pulse, a rhythmic, low-frequency hum that honestly grew louder as the drill got closer. It wasn't just noise, it was a broadcast. Every electronic device within a 50-mile radius was fried instantly. The data that survived revealed a terrifying truth. The frequency is an exact match to the Giza damper energy spikes we saw in Egypt. The black box isn't just a recording device, it's the master control. And well, it's finally waking up. Why now? Why did the Giza dampers fail after 55 million years? And why is the Antarctic black box waking up today? Because they were never meant to save us. They were meant to save the planet. The Giza damper wasn't just a power plant. It was a safety valve. It was a sophisticated cooling system designed by the pre-Petum civilization to regulate the Earth's thermal core. When we deactivated Giza, when the resonance was broken, the system lost its primary cooling mechanism. The Antarctic black box is now compensating. This isn't global warming as we understand it. It's an automated hard reset. That ancient civilization didn't just die out. They left a clean-up protocol for the next species that failed to manage the biosphere. The rising temperatures? The melting ice? It's not a slow death. It's a cleansing. The system is purging the atmosphere of the current biological load to make room for the next cycle. And the black box just reached 98% synchronization. We thought we were the masters of this world. We were just the tenants, and the landlord is coming home. If the ice melts completely, what will we find? Or rather, what will find us? Subscribe for the next deep dive into the 2026 polar shift. The clock is ticking.